if DEI hire is now the new N-word, then who's the istophobic in chief? Joe Biden. Together we make history, not erase it. To me, the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion are literally, and this is not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history, and that taps into the full talents of our country, and it starts at the top with the vice president. He literally called her a DEI hire.
Yep.
So are we gonna lynch Joe Biden for calling her a hard R in so many words?
The hard R.
I'm just asking for a friend.
But the thing is, the DEI is now getting creamed in court. And I believe affirmative action is on slippery ground.
Yes. Now that the Supreme Court decision found against Harvard for their affirmative action practices, the rest of them are going to tumble like dominoes.
If this is really about equality, okay, I need some smart fucking pigmentally challenged honky to fucking sue the NBA for saying, hey, man, I didn't get picked to make millions of dollars playing a fucking kids game dribbling here. I don't care that I'm only 5'2" and I'm pasty and I've got the rhythm of a fucking typical white man. I want that fucking job.
Pigmentally challenged honky.
Well, I mean, let's just break this down into the basic logic here, right?
Oh, holy shit, that's funny.
We have a whole industry on the medical side, and then we have all of this craziness going on for people who feel a certain way, and then they want to get expensive neutering chemicals, get their breasts and testicles and, hose sawed off, and they have to stay on these drugs to keep them in that the mirage of delusional thinking that they're in.
Yeah, they are they are corporate perma patients.
Yes, for life.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, we know that the rich look at us as useless eaters.
Yeah.
And these people who claim to be against anything corporate are the ones falling in line behind it. So, I mean, you're getting people lapping off their shit. You're neutering your entire genetic legacy when you push your children to do this shit. It's not reversible. So you will never have grandchildren. Your legacy is done. That's the real genocide. And then, you bring in all these people to be cheap slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else, you tax them into oblivion to where they don't feel like it's financially viable to have children. So the rich just get to hoard and hoard and hoard, and the rest of us are fighting over scraps because we're stupid enough to be fighting with each other and not the person who shook the jar.
But here's the thing. We got to get the guy who shook the jar.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We have the whole trans community, will look you in the face and go, yes, a man can have a baby.
No, they can't.
Yes, a man can become a woman.
No, they can't.
And in reality, you can't. But if you use that same logic, you're like, oh, okay, well, I identify as 65. Where's my Social Security retirement check?
Yep. I identify as indigenous. Where's my fucking casino?
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
Listen,
unless you're Elizabeth Warren, apparently.
Logic exists because it applies to everything. You can't have everything be logical and then all of a sudden, have this bucket of sawed off tits and penises and say that it's different for them. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. And I cannot believe that I'm having this argument with individuals who I went to school with.
Yeah, and they should. Yours was a generation that was still being educated.
Yes. So
what the hell happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm
you don't use it, you lose it.
Like what literally, they go, well, there are animals in nature that can switch their sexes.
Yeah, we're not frogs.
And I'm like, if you're a mammal, more than likely that's never going to happen.
No. Only some amphibians can do that, and some earthworms have both. They literally rub up against each other like two dudes at the glory hole and swap sperm cells, and there you go, baby worms.
Yep.
Hopefully not in your butthole.
Oh yeah, you don't need that aggravation.
No.
I don't know. You've got me thinking of something now. Maybe I should go and take some fucking corporate job. And when they try to fire me like the second or third day because I offended some fucking pud chugger, I could say, hey, I identify as an unfireable, very likable fucking person. So suck a fucking dick. Never mind. I can't reward you for bad behavior. You don't get to suck a dick all week, you fucking cocksucker. But you better fucking give me that fucking promotion. You better give me that fucking 10-year fucking job contract. And I'm not even coming to work, so I won't offend you, you fucking pricks.
Yeah.
Well,
I identify as working from home.
No, we're here because we had like a whole generation of youth being taught there's no winners or losers. Everyone gets a trophy.
And now everybody
Nobody's
thinks
feelings
that
get hurt.
Yeah, and now everybody thinks that they can force their self-identification onto everybody else.
Yeah.
I identify as beautiful and brilliant. Well,
Right.
you're stupid and ugly, so what is it? Well, how dare you?
Yeah,
If you identify as rich and you've got no money in your fucking bank account, you're not paying your fucking mortgage.
Yeah.
You're not going to the casino. Guess what, Flappy?
It's pure narcissism, like
Yes.
undiluted narcissism. Get some ether and cut that shit before you snort it, okay?
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow.
You're driving me up the fucking wall with this shit.
But I'm just listen. You either have an XS chromosome or an XY chromosome.
Yeah, and just because you have a double X chromosome doesn't make you a princess, a goddess, a queen. And if I see any of those things in your social media, I'm going to know 3 things right off the bat. You're a narcissist, you're a loser, and you're going to die in boxed wine in Catland.
Well, the minute I see like my preferred pronouns, all I really in my mind is preferred pronoun is dumb and ass.
Then there you go.
That's it.
My pronouns are beep, bop, boop. Fuck off.
And she's actually winning that case.
Good.
It's going to discovery. They tried to get it dismissed.
Well, because they don't want to go to Discovery.
Yeah.
I think this is the first job that Kamala has gotten because a dude pulled out. I mean, maybe it's just me. But speaking of disagreeing with your eyes and ears, did you hear this little bit? I mean, because it sounded like a pre-recording when he called in live to her accepting her, whatever nomination, whatever the fuck this was all for. And she accidentally almost called it a recording. Let's take a listen.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do.
Oh, yeah, we love Joe and Jill. Yeah, Jill can't fucking stand you.
All right. So she got a job from a guy pulling out. So basically, she de-linked from the Smoky link.
Yes, very much so. Well.
Yeah, listen. I mean, this whole charade is actually becoming more and more apparent. Because you know who pulled all of Biden's funding? It was Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Why in the fuck do we have a former president who did 2 terms still sticking his fucking nose in what's going on? That needs to be fucking quashed ASAP.
The Obamas see themselves as the natural successor to the Clintons. That's, and I think there is a bit of a dynasty, grudge going on here between those 2 camps.
Yeah, it could be. What they both need to get. I'm not going to say anything violent, but they need to be told to shut up, sit down, and just get on with the rest of your life. You are done.
Please and thank you. Ugh.
Out of those 4 people, only one of them is heterosexual, and that's Bill. He's a rabid cunt hound. Although I think he's probably had less pussy in his day than Hillary, or maybe more, and that's why she's always so fucking bitter. Because Hillary likes eating at the Y there. She's fucking Muff Diver Supreme. And obviously fucking Big Mike and Bathhouse Barry, his ears used to be normal, right? Then he married Big Mike. And that motherfucker with those fucking lats and those deltoids.
Yeah.
Get over here, Barry.
I mean, he doesn't have pigtails. That's the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
So you just keep looking until he looks like Will Smith.
Yeah. Totally. Give me some skull, bitch, and fucking jumbo his fucking ears.
Sooner he keeps pulling on Barry's ears like that, he's going to look like the meme where it's like, shit.
He'll be able to fly for 2 reasons. Number 1, he's Tinkerbell. Number 2, he looks like fucking Dumbo.
We are so demonetized there, Sergeant. That's
DEI hire, please.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I forgot you guys are still on ULube. I should have told you.
It's all right, man. It's
Sorry,
all right.
man.
No,
ULube, I think, is the Barry's preferred brand for his asshole.
Yeah. And that name for them is such a joke because all they ever do is dry ass fuck you guys. There's no fucking lube.
Oh, God.
That's what the taxpayers of America have to deal with now.
It reminds me of going down on an Italian chick after she hasn't shaved for 3 days.
Oh,
That's how you saw your face off.
That's pretty much, yeah. It's like you really love the taste and smell and feel of sandpaper against your skin. Go down on an Italian.
Well, you know why 10-year-old Italian boys have mustaches, right?
Why?
Because they take after their moms.
Fair enough.
As long as they can cook. Oh, man. Now, I have to ask both of you guys.
All right.
Was agreeing with BLM on your 2024 bingo card?
No.
It wasn't, nor was it on mine.
Well, here's the thing. All right, hang on.
And yet here I am.
Well, let's talk about BLM for a second. All right. BLM is basically a muscle arm for the progressive and the left.
Along with they are the progressives KKK, essentially.
And they were... Antifa and BLM were the rehearsals for what's yet to come, because they've put all the communication in place. They have all the NGOs to support. They got their money lined up. All they got to do now is have some of these military-aged men who've come across the border, arm them.
Which is most of them.
And the commo and everything's already in place. That's. I think I'm going to do a zombie apocalypse on that one.
I mean, did you see the video of these dudes essentially practicing a beach storming operation with perfect precision over in California? Just strictly military-age men. Mm-hmm. They beached the boat and jumped off it like it was a Chinese fire drill.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yep. Welcome to Middle America. When you get there, the guns will be waiting. I'm not encouraging that behavior. I'm just saying that if you fuck around, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And as we heard last week, to fuck around is human, to find out is divine.
We got to put that in a T-shirt.
So that horse shit yesterday in D.C., I would have been offended, except D.C.'s a foreign fucking city, right? That's not even fucking America.
Yeah.
So you have the Durka crowd over there fucking burning American flags, right? Fucking guy peels out on a fucking fag flag, on the fucking rainbow flag, on the fucking crosswalk. He gets charged.
Yeah, he gets that's a hate crime, but burning our country's flag is freedom of speech.
A bunch of fucking no-fly cocksuckers over here burning the flag.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that's cool.
Please explain to me how I'm privileged.
Well, hang on. We need to do something about all this hate speech bullshit.
Yeah.
Hate crime or whatever.
Yeah.
It's being abused. It really is.
Oh, without a doubt.
Now, listen, I got it.
A crime doesn't magically become worse because somebody yells hard R while they're punching you after being punched first.
Or the N-word.
Yeah.
Or if it's reversed. If somebody that doesn't need the gift certificate to the tanning salon, if that person beats the shit out of a pasty Mick, guess what? Even if he calls him a fucking honky and a cracker during the beatdown, it will never be called a hate crime.
Nope.
Correct.
Oh, just like at that hotel in Arizona years ago, the dude literally, it's like trying to force this dude to play Twister. He keeps giving him different instruction after different instruction.
And then shoots him. Just cold-blooded murders him in the hallway. Were there any repercussions? Nope, because the dude was white, so no one gave his shit. That's right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got, dudes pistol whipping pregnant women, using counterfeit money, getting all hopped up on fentanyl, having a heart attack in police custody, and we have a summer of riots.
Well, listen, when they crashed the economy, a lot of those individuals who did shit like that,
it's going to be bad.
People coming looking for them. You don't listen. You are not getting away with that kind of shit without somebody coming after you. There was I was watching a video. This is about a year ago. It's a small town in North Carolina, I believe where the local police officer shot this dude's son and paralyzed him, and like 3 days later was taunting the father about shooting his son.
Wow.
All right, if that is how cops are going to roll.
If somebody got extreme chiropractic in that situation, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Well, my thing, though, is that is reprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we need to scale back this violence, calm down a little bit, and we have to do something about the prosecutors, the judges, and the law enforcement.
The law, the judge, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Yeah.
They have too much power.
Yeah.
And literally they have immunity. So the Constitution doesn't apply to them. They can do whatever they want. So indirectly, the Constitution doesn't apply to you. This needs to get fixed.
They were allowed to legislate from the bench for how many years before Roe v. Wade was overturned, and now many of them are doing it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, if you're a judge and you get overturned, then there needs to be a process to address why you're still on the bench.
Yeah. If you get 3 overturned decisions that are deemed unconstitutional, you should be forcibly removed from the bench. Period.
There needs to be a solution to this, because this is getting. There are so many people out there who have been caught in the system and fucked over on bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't know what to say. I mean, it's shameful. It's straight up shameful.
It is. We're supposed to have a process in this country, you know, that we all agreed upon. I mean, we're supposed to look at the Constitution as the law of the land, you know, the 10th Amendment notwithstanding, of course. And yet these dudes, the only time they look at it is when they look down to see what they're wiping their asses with.
Well, here's a case in point. Mr. Harrison, we had him on the show, what, 2 years?
Oh, yeah. But people were asking me for an update on him. Have we heard from him?
He's in prison.
He's in prison now.
All right. So he finally got his trial, and the judge said, you can't use this defense, even though he had video and pictures for a self-defense kind of defense.
So basically an ironclad defense.
He got railroaded, and, you know, he's supposedly going to get out here in a few months and go to a halfway house, and I'll probably try to help him out with something. But, I mean, listen, the DEI hires are so incompetent that all they do is they keep you in the local jail, and they keep postponing and postponing until you run out of money, and then you have to take a plea deal. That's not how this is supposed to work.
No.
In fact, Mercedes Carrera, we talked to her at the very beginning of our
long
2013-14.
Yeah, I know she got railroaded over some
She's
shit.
still
what I
in
heard.
jail. 38 postponements. At what point does the judge say this is, you know, this is
right to a speedy trial?
Yes. All right. That nothing says incompetence.
Oh, it's not incompetence. That's malicious intent.
Well,
when you postpone that many times, they are deliberately trying to bleed your resources dry so that when the trial finally comes, you don't have any left.
Correct. And listen, I don't give a shit what you're in prison for. If you did something screwed up or whatever, you still need to go through the process.
Yeah.
And you should not have to literally go through millions of dollars to pay attorneys to keep going through postponements until you run out of money. If they do that, we need to have a system in place to sue those individuals for malicious prosecution or, dare I say, straight up incompetence.
So I've got a hypothetical question now that we're on this topic, something I've been curious about, but not curious enough to actually fucking look up and try to figure it out. Let's say, because we both know there are a shitload of January 6th defendants that ran out of money to fight it.
Yeah.
And they had to bend over, spread their cheeks, and take a deal. I get it. They ran out of fucking money. Can a person that took a plea deal be pardoned? Question A. Question B, if a lot of these convictions get overturned because they realize that they hid evidence, you know, like all the fucking tapes that got released, will the guys that took a plea deal be exempt from that because they came out and said out loud, I'm guilty?
Well, this
is taking the plea deal. Are they exempt from being exonerated?
These are legalese questions. I'm not an attorney.
I
don't have any stomach for that. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get fixed here.
Oh, yeah. And when you look at shit like this, like the reason why BLM is up in arms, you see that there is an acknowledgement of the process. And most of the time, and I think that this is part of the problem, most of the time, idiots like this, like BLM, are totally cool with the process being waylaid as long as it benefits their side.
Correct.
Bottom line is this: sooner or later, if you keep shaving off that stuff that's too edgy, you keep shaving off the edge, sooner or later you're going to run out of edge.
It's going to turn into a slide.
Yes. And guess what? That's a slippery slope, and we're all going to end up at the bottom 6 feet under.
Yep.
I am very sick of people saying that Kamala is not black. I'm sick of hearing that. I know she's Indian.
She's like half and half, yeah.
Yeah, and the Jamaican side isn't super dark. There's a lot of cream mixed in the coffee there.
Yeah,
but to say that she's not black,
all the dudes.
Yeah, to say she's not black is not taking into account that she's very black by injection.
That's
She's
very
had
true,
a
yeah.
ton of BBC in her.
Willie Brown, Montel Williams,
Yeah.
to name a
Well,
few.
all right.
Somebody had to rub off.
And I'm sure Joe took the blue pills a couple of times so he could hammer her mouth
Well,
hole.
this is my thing. I don't care what race they are. I don't give a shit.
I don't
What
care
I
either.
care is about her past. When she was working in California, she kept people in prison so
Yep.
she could exploit them for work.
Yep.
Now, when your prison sentence is over, technically they're supposed to let you out.
Yeah, she put people, in prison for smoking pot for life, and then laughed about how she used to allegedly smoke pot back in the day. Like it's this rules for thee, none for me shit.
Well, when her father came out a few years back and said her family, her Jamaican family, used to own slaves, it sounds like maybe it skipped a few generations because she's trying to make these prisoners in California become de facto slaves of the state.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what happened.
So, do you want to see what BLM had to say about this? It's actually quite interesting.
I would like to see.
Timeline of events. Sunday, Joe drops out. Kamala Harris announces campaign with Biden endorsement. She says she's going to work hard to earn the nomination, makes calls to party delegates. Monday, Harris continues making calls to party delegates. She makes 2 public speeches. AP announces that she has secured enough delegates to be the Democratic nominee. Harris releases the statement noting she's worked hard to go out and earn this nomination without a single vote. 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Actually, that's exactly what they are in the Democratic Party.
Yep.
Installing Kamala as the Democratic nominee and unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern-day Democrat Party a party of hypocrites. We call on the DNC to create a process that allows for public participation in this nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates. Holy cow. Why am I agreeing with BLM?
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming.
The sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while, I guess.
Yeah, I am not a fan of this organization.
No. And since they've been trying to astroturf her, be just way beyond, the gaslighting has hit supremely hard.
Yep.
Not just the DEI hire is the new N-word thing. That's actually been coming about for a while. I think the first mention that I saw of it in my search history, what my search results was like March.
So where we are now is we're in the gaslighting redirect phase.
Yes. And it starts with, 1984. We're literally going to try to scrub the internet of stuff. GovTrack deletes the 2019 scorecard for Kamala Harris showing she was the most liberal U.S. senator, to the left of even Bernie Sanders. Yeah, to the left of the socialist. That should scare the shit out of you. Yep. So she became. Keyword was that she was ranked the farthest left. Suddenly, that ranking has disappeared. Unfortunately for GovTrack, the internet is forever. Just like all the DNA swimming in Kamala Harris's brain from all the dudes she fucked.
God damn.
She's going to take that shit to her grave. It's going to leak out of her ears. I'm just saying. Yeah, here we go. Boy, did I call it or what?
Yeah, he did.
Wow. And then more gaslighting. The media is now trying to say that Kamala was never border czar.
What? Come on.
I shit you not. This is actually happening.
She is on. She did interviews.
Yeah. Time Magazine. Kamala Harris was never Biden's border czar. Here's what she really did.
We need to get rid of. Listen.
Her border work was on the root causes of migration. She wasn't in charge. Never mind the fact that the Trump campaign and Republicans. Okay, this is the bullshit here. Axios is doing it. Mm-hmm. Axios themselves used the words border czar in 2021, referring to Kamala Harris.
Yep.
No refuting Trump's claim about the invasion of our open border, just a refutation that Kamala ever had that actual title. So essentially, they're trying to distance her from the policies of Biden's administration because they know those are losers.
Yes.
And you know what the effect it's had on polling? Fucking zero. She polls worse against Trump than Biden did. That's why they're trying to astroturf this hard and gaslight people into believing shit that they were saying themselves for a year. Oh, that's not true.
Well, I mean,
she was never the border czar.
This is the way I listen.
Wow.
My ESP is telling me there's going to be 2 more attempts on Trump. If they fail, he will probably get elected, and then the powers that be are going to tank our financial institutions and destroy this country but hyperinflation and what have you. That is the way I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too. It's a bold statement.
But my ESP is telling me there's some bad stuff coming up.
The thing is, they made it through Trump before, and in fact, they made a lot of money just letting Trump do his thing before.
Correct.
They obstructed the ever-loving shit out of him the entire time, mostly his own party, fucking rhino cuck bastards. But the thing is, if they try again, they will kick off the two-way rifle range.
I hope they don't, man. I don't want to see any of that, but
the thing is, like you always said, once you can't feed your family, can't put gas in your car, you can't heat your home, it's on. They try to financially tank the country to that degree, the gloves come off.
French Revolution is going to take place again.
That's the ultimate fuck around, find out tale of two cities action, and I do not want to see that on our soil.
No, I don't want to see it either.
Just because we're talking about this shit doesn't mean we want it, for the record.
Yeah.
So how many miles away from Turkestan are you guys? There in Michigan.
Dearborn.
About
a half-hour drive.
No, it's about 11 miles straight line.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to take like
it's about 20-minute drive.
Shit.
Okay, you better get the bacon bullets ready then.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm not worried about it. We're gonna have bigger fish to fry if that stuff kicks off.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. We'll get around to them, but they're not first on the list.
Yep. I love this cope here because this is how just the caliber of debating that we're going to have when she gets on stage with Trump.
I want to see.
I love this. We've been to the border, so this whole thing. So this whole thing about the border. We've been to the border. You haven't been to the border. I haven't been to Europe.
That's exactly what she said.
What the fuck does that have to do with it? Well, I haven't been to Europe either.
Are we going to we're going to strike if we play that?
No, we shouldn't. It's because it's common Creative Commons.
We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border.
You haven't.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And
Your border czar.
What does that have? Oh my gosh.
I mean, this. All right.
Yeah, let's just not go into work and say we worked that day.
I've said this before.
I identify as a 40-hour-a-week worker, even though I'm sitting at home thumbjacking my shitbox and playing Switch.
I've said this before. I think what they did in 2020, they thought they were doing. They thought they won and they're getting over.
Yep.
But they have literally showed the entire country their hand.
Yep.
Number one, and they've showed the entire country how illogical they are and ruled by emotion. Listen, you don't want to have people with the football who are emotionally unstable.
No.
So who has the football fucking today? Because we don't even know that Pedo Joe's alive.
I don't know.
So who the fuck is running the country?
Yeah. That address to the nation looked really freaking weird.
It looked like
that pre-recorded shit? Fuck
it was
that.
AI.
Oh, it was absolutely pre-recorded. There was no audience there. There was no press there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just like there was no audience allowed at the debate. So, and they had that 2-minute delay programmed in, and they still couldn't edit out all of his meandering fuckery.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man.
Quick, make the commercial breaks longer so we can keep this going.
He was mentally fried in 2018.
Oh, I knew he was fried way before.
Yeah, in 2012, we knew that guy was a fucktard.
Well, yeah, he was like the court jester of the Obama administration. He was brought in to keep people chuckling. He wasn't actually there for any other reason than just to be the tall white guy next to Barry.
Yeah, when you have a fucking linebacker looking fucking guy in a dress named Michelle,
Michael,
how much of a fucking douche do you have to be where you're still a funnier piece of shit than that?
Wow.
Yeah, look at that big old dick flopping around on the Ellen show.
Yeah. Fucking anaconda, man. That's the only first lady that ever made me suffer from fucking penis envy.
There you
that
go.
motherfucker's hanging down to his fucking knees.
I bet Barry has to keep one of those vibrating butt plugs in his ass 24/7 just so he doesn't shit himself on accident.
Also, this is really important about Kamala. Technically, she's not even eligible to be the president.
No, she's not, because her parents were foreign nationals. They were not born here.
She should not even be where she's at.
Just like Barry was not technically supposed to be. But again, we're talking about a group of people. They do not care about the fucking rules.
I know they
do not care. But Barry is on record himself saying he wasn't born in the U.S. So it's hilarious when they're like, well, you can't prove it. He literally said it. I saw the video. It's nearly impossible to find, but it's there.
Well, we should dig it up and put it on the show.
Yeah, I saw it one day on like a freaking fluke.
If anyone finds that video, send us the link because we're going to put it in our library.
For a year or two, when he was the junior senator from Illinois, Kenya actually had signs. Welcome to Kenya, the birthplace of U.S. Senator Barack Hussein Obama.
Correct.
They took those fucking signs down in 2008 when he started running, but those signs were common knowledge. Everybody saw that. His own half-brother says he was born here.
Yeah, and we need to start enforcing this shit. This is getting stupid.
But who enforces, right? The same Fed boys, the same fucking cocksuckers that are in an organization that was founded by a cross-dresser named Hoover.
Yep.
You expect these cocksuckers to fucking be above board?
Absolutely not. And I was talking about this earlier today. I was like, look, if you're thinking of voting for Kamala, okay, just remember, the same people who are telling you this month that Kamala is a great candidate and she totally wasn't the border czar were the ones telling you last month that Biden was totally with it.
Yeah.
And it was a conspiracy theory to question it.
Right.
They fucking hate you.
Yes, they do.
Accept that. Even if you're voting for them, they fucking hate you.
Correct.
Because all they want is to give you enough breadcrumbs to keep you voting Democrat. They're not going to make your life better.
No.
They're the party of the poor because they want you to be poor.
Wow, we got to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, shit. Good. If they're the party of the poor, it would stand to reason they would want you to be poor so that you keep voting for them.
Correct.
If the conservatives allegedly are the party of the rich, even though they're absolutely not the party of big money anymore by a long shot.
Haven't been for years.
Have not been for years. Then wouldn't it be in their best interest to watch you succeed?
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.